right from the eyes open. So they wait for me. Press record. Okay. How's everyone doing? You guys, are you ready to learn how to tell your story? Put a 1 in the chat. How many of you actually are comfortable telling your story? Put a 2 in the chat. Okay, so funny thing, I've changed my story probably, I don't even know how many times, like 10 times, and I keep trying to like perfect it, and I feel like we have so many different stories, but the one I'm going to share with you guys tonight is one that I felt resonated with me the other day, so I'm just going to share that. But I'm going to share my screen. Let me start it. Okay, so you guys, we all know that telling your story is what sells. You know, all business, it really is conversation. So, you know, basically the story is the bridge to get more people in front of a third-party tool. Because what a lot of us do is we go right into talking about what we do when we message people instead of, you know, and how does that make you feel? It makes you feel really uncomfortable because you feel like you're bothering people, or, you know, you feel like a fraud or whatever. But if you just went into conversations being like, hey, do you got a minute? Like, I just want to share a story with you. I bet you'd be way more comfortable doing that than being like, hey, I just want you to know I'm part of this company. I sell this, I do this, you know, because reason being is the story is what's going to build trust with that person, and then let the third party tool do the work for you and share the business opportunity or the products. Okay, so that's where a lot of us are going wrong, I feel. So important, if you could tell your story, then we can get past this. But basically, I'm going to tell you guys who I am, why we should learn this skill, examples of third-party tools, the 4 elements of your story, and how to speak in stories with objections. So, all right, I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about me, and it's not perfect, but I'm going to try not to read. I wrote down my story because otherwise I'll blab. So for those of you who don't know me, I'm Jessica Shumway. I'm a mom, I'm a stylist, well, now retired stylist. I'm a huge introvert, and something about me that nobody, like a lot of people don't know, is that I've always felt like the black sheep with my friends and my family, always feeling left out, like I didn't fit in. I remember sitting home at night feeling sorry for myself because I wasn't invited to go out for whatever reason, or if there was a big celebration happening, why wasn't I invited to help plan that or just be part of it? You know, people just, and not everybody, but people just left me out of it, and I don't know why to this day, and it like really like hurt me for a long time. So I didn't feel like I fit in growing up with most people, and I just remember always feeling alone, like I never had a group of friends, a group of my people to be around. So it really made me feel depressed for a really long time, unappreciated, misunderstood, and it felt like they almost just tolerated me or had me around because they had to. So I believe that this built a fire in me to be someone more in life and go after whatever I wanted, which for me, it's total freedom. I want to live life on my terms. And of course, I want to find my crew, which I'm doing. But I love being a stylist, but it really just didn't fulfill what I needed until I tried this amazing shampoo. And then everything shifted for me. I discovered this whole new business venture that the more I looked into this more, I was hooked. I have been changing everything in my life for the better. Now I wake up, I feel grateful that I get to be home with my girls every day and we have that time together. I feel appreciated by a team of women who look up to me and I get to help them every single day. I'm surrounded by so many like-minded people full of positivity and that have a major drive. I think it's safe to say I found my place and my flock. So that's my story. Okay. So I'm working on that. I'm trying to memorize it. I know most of it, but so that's my story, but I want to go into okay. So why do we need to learn this skill? Okay. This is going to build major confidence in yourself. You're going to build a lot of rapport with people. You're going to build way more connection, trust, and belief in you. Like people are going to have that trust in you and belief in you. You just will be able to connect with more people more effectively. And we all need to stop being the expert. And what I mean by that is every time we're talking to a potential, we want to just tell them everything. When they ask the question, hey, give me more information about the products. We want to go and type out this whole thing. Don't do that. Just send them something. If you want to, make a couple minute video about the products and why they're different and send it to them and share it with your team. But just know your third-party tool needs to be something other than you, anything but you. So not a video of yourself, it has to be somebody else because you are a third-party tool. So my team's going to use my video if they want to, and I'm not going to be using it. I'll be sending, all the other videos that we have. But we need to let the third party do what it's supposed to do. And we have to remember that what we do duplicates with our team. So if we're acting like the expert and we go talk to these potentials, they're thinking, oh, I can't do that. Like, I can't become an expert in this. So we have to show them that they don't need to be an expert. All they need to learn is to tell their story and use the tools. It's literally that simple. So, and when you're talking to your potential, you're actually like training them before they even come on because you're showing them what we do. So you have to keep that in mind. And it's so hard because we all want to just use our mouths and we want to talk, and we want to just do everything. But we need to make this like a reflex. Like if somebody has a question, send them like a PDF, send them an article, send them the comp plan, send them a video, podcast, whatever it is. But your story and other people's stories are the most effective third-party tool. Okay. So not only are you trying to tell your story, but I want you to start collecting stories from everybody around you. You guys have heard this before too, but you need have a story in your back pocket for somebody that says they don't have time or they don't have money or they're in college or whatever. Just, I'm going to tell you guys like a quick little way to respond when somebody says an objection, but stories is your best tool. So have stories, make like an arsenal of stories in your back pocket. I'm going to go on to, okay. So I want to go on. This is going to be pretty quick, guys, but I was thinking it would be cool if maybe we took a couple minutes and worked on our stories for those of you who, if you want to stay on after, we could take a few minutes and I can answer any questions. But the 4 elements of your story, okay? You don't want this to be more than 2 minutes, okay? Like That's it. 2 minutes tops. If it's 2 minutes and 1 second, it's too long. So your background, okay? What do? You know, mom, stylist, corporate student, whatever that is. What you didn't like about it. We all want to sit there and name a million things we probably didn't like about it, but just pick 3. Okay. I don't even know if I did that right, but I'm working on it. So, pick 3 things that you didn't like before you started this business. Okay. And then the solution is like almost the pivot of the story. So the solution will be, what happened? Did somebody approach you? Like, how did it fall onto your lap? And what was that moment where you realized that everything was about to change for you? And, now how do you feel about the future? Instead of saying, I get to do this, make it more of like an emotion. Like, how does it make you feel? Like, even if you just started this business, you could tell a story because how this business makes you feel about the future. So even if you're not where you want to be yet, you can talk about it saying, now I feel this about the future and knowing this and whatever that is. But you kind of want it to be like, so if before you were underpaid, you want to show them that this is something that's going to be solving that issue that you had before. Does that make sense? So it needs to be parallel with what you didn't like before. So I didn't have a lot of time before. Now I make my own schedule and I have all the time in the world, like whatever you want to say. But that's just the gist of it. It's very, very simple. Another way to just quickly, the layout of the story, 3 parts: before, what your life was like before network marketing; the pivot, when your life changes, what made you join the business; and then now. And you're just tying it together into one story. So I would just put those few things down, and then you can fill in the spots with the rest of the story after. But quickly, like, write down your background, what you didn't like about it, the solution, and then how you feel about the future. Don't overthink it. Go with truly how you feel, because when I was first starting to write this, first I talked about my confidence and how personal development helped me, which is one story. And then I talked about like being in debt and this helping me with that. But then I realized that my why was not really money related. It was more about the community. And the community is what gets me excited and gets me going every day. So when I don't have that, I don't feel good. Okay. And that's because of my story in the past of not being included and not having that for so long. So your why should be connected to your story in some way, shape, or form. Okay. Do you guys have any questions about that? Oh, sorry. I don't even know if I could see. If there's comments, if someone wants to unmute, that might be easier if somebody has a question, just because I can't see. Oh, here we go. Chat. No, it's not Bob Helig. Okay. I think a lot of network marketers teach a lot of the same things, but they just word it differently. And some ways may resonate with you differently than others, I learn a lot of my stuff. I like Eric Worre and the way he teaches things. So I've been taking a lot of his things and implementing it. So my challenge for you is to tell your story to 100 people in 30 days. Okay. But honestly, I don't care if you tell your story to yourself 100 times in 30 days, because you will know your story after saying it 100 times. Okay. And I want you to start saving other people's stories when you hear them. So when you watch maybe somebody's potential video and they tell their story, maybe like make note of that and start making like a folder of people's stories. It might be time consuming, but it'll be worth it when you have all these stories and you know them like the back of your hand. Okay, so this was the objection part. So I thought this was cool. So if somebody comes up to you and says, I don't have time, I want you, or any objection, I don't care what it is, your response is going to be, well, I don't know about that. All I know is, and then tell a story about somebody who had the same objection. Instead of being like, well, do you think you just don't have time because you don't know how much time it's going to take? Like, no, no, no. Just tell a story of somebody who didn't have time. Okay. That's the way you're going to handle that. And then, I just liked this quote that Eric said, we are very well paid storytellers. Like, that's all we should be doing all day. And then I wanted to say, you build trust with your story, you build belief with the facts, something good to remember. And then I would just put my IG if you guys wanted to. Trying to be all professional over here. First time making a PowerPoint, people. Okay, so that was really all I had to share. I mean, there's not much to really cover on telling your personal story, but it's the most important one. You know what I mean? So it's a very simple layout, but this is probably the most important story you're going to tell. So, but you guys shouldn't just be telling your life story. It should be like, how did you hit that first promotion? And just a story for everything that you do. Okay. Does anyone have any questions? I know it was kind of short. It was a short training, but that's good for you guys. I recorded it, so. So I'm going to be doing a training on probably next week on doing a opportunity presentation, like a different layout than probably what we're used to. It's going to be different, but it's effective. So I'm going to be teaching that if anyone wants to come on. I'm going to record all these too, so you guys have it. But I hope that helped you guys a little bit. If anyone wants to share their story, I would love to hear someone else's story if they want to unmute and do that. No one? Come on, guys.
I really love this, Jess. I think like it would be kind of fun if somebody wants to like role play, because this is gold.
How do you want to role play?
I mean, I really like this. I mean, I feel like I have to get used to it, but
It's different.
I love it.
But it might work for some people. Like if people have something that they already use that works well, then stick with it. But this is something that everybody can learn to do. Everyone on your team can learn to tell their story. And if you can make them effectively telling their story to everybody, that's all they have to do, guys, because we have all of the tools to share. You guys just need to organize what tools you guys use for what. If somebody asks you, tell me about the products, what tool are you sending for that? What opportunity video are you sending? Like have them pretty much ready to go. Like have a folder with all of those, because if you just tell your story and then they're like, oh, tell me more about that. Okay. Like you can either get them I would send the tool and then get them on a call, but instead of just going in and telling them about the opportunity and everything. So
can I role play with you a little bit, Jessica?
Sure.
I've been really struggling with this.
I don't know if I'm qualified for that, but okay.
My name is Lisa, and I just joined Monat like a couple weeks ago, like maybe 2 to 3 weeks ago. And I know like people that are following me on social media probably like, what is she doing? How did she get into this and why? And just assuming it's a pyramid scheme and being so like negative and skeptical. And I did initially go into it for the money. Like I just broke up with my boyfriend of 5 years. I moved into my own apartment. Now, the bills are on me as a single woman. And I ended up gaining so much more from it than the money and that perspective I went into it with. And now I just feel like the personal development and the community, like you said, is priceless. And I just wish like someone would have told me about this sooner, because I could have been such a better person 6 months ago, a year ago, if I had just, known about this opportunity and jumped into it. And I've been like trying to record myself for days telling my story, but I get lost in translation. It ends up being way too long. And I just want to get it down to 2 minutes and really give it that personal touch, but I just don't know how.
Okay. So first I would be happy to sit with you and do a one-on-one too, if you want. I think just doing that outline first, you're gonna have to fix it like probably 10 times. Like I'm still fixing mine because you want it to flow really easily where people can listen and not get confused. Do you know what I
Right.
mean? So like if you don't have that structure in your story, people just start to like lose it. They lose their focus, And I would not say in your story the name of the company. I wouldn't say network marketing. I wouldn't say opportunity. I mean, I guess you could, but I wouldn't say network marketing and I wouldn't say money
Okay.
at all. And the part that's the most important, actually, I want you guys to guess on this. Which part of the story do you think is the most important to share? Is it your background? Is it the before you got started? Is it the solution or is it the after?
I saw someone just say your why. I see someone saying your background. I guess I would lean towards those answers as well.
So the most important part is the three things, like your struggle. That's the part that people relate to. So that's the part that you want to be the longest. Don't spend a lot of time on your intro. Don't spend a lot of time on the solution. Like I literally said, what did I say? Then I tried these products and everything changed. Okay. But you guys also, it's about how you say it. So when you're talking about the struggles, you better be feeling like you're struggling. Like people need to feel that with you. Okay. And when you had that solution, your whole voice projection should change. It's not just about telling it. You have to make people feel it. And I don't know if mine even resonated with anybody or anyone felt anything, but I'm trying, I'm learning, I'm practicing it. It takes time, but it's worth it if you can do that. Okay. Because if you get people's attention and their connection with you off the bat, you already have that trust, So, yeah, I think we just need to nail down, like, take it one step at a time, like your background, like, let's lay that out first. You know what I mean? So I would
Mhm.
take the time, do that with those 4 elements, and then we could like craft your story,
Okay.
And if you want to like do your story and then send it, I could tell you like if you even want to write it out, I could tell you right off the bat, like what I would take out, what I would shorten, kind of thing.
Okay. That
If you
would be
want.
great. Thank you.
Yeah. Oh, any word that has ly at the end, don't say it. Just don't say it. It's just filler words. Okay.
Okay.
But yeah, it's just about being more of a professional like storyteller, presenter. So I loved it. I loved this training and I think it's very helpful. So does anyone else have anything they want to ask or? All right. Well, if not, then I'm going to let you guys go. And I did record this. So if I can figure out how to put this up somewhere, I will. All right. Thank you guys. Thank you for coming on. I really appreciate it. I hope this helped. Bye.